Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting phenomenon. It's really fascinating. Donald Trump, former President Trump, is up in every poll over DeSantis. He's the number one Republican. He's the only Republican, by far, in terms of a primary for 24. Okay? He'll be the nominee. There's nobody that can come close to him. DeSantis is like 20, 30 points away. Fox News is being sued for $1.6 billion, okay, for momentarily backing Trump in terms of certain claims. This is a phenomenon that happens in American media, politics, and this is why this is taking place, okay? It's very interesting, and I'll explain exactly why. When CNN and MSNBC, the Washington Post, the Times, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, The Atlantic, BuzzFeed, every other publication, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, Twitter before Elon Musk, when an entire public relations monstrosity says Trump was an operative of another country, and he worked with another country to release emails damaging to the Democratic Party, is showing that Bernie Sanders was railroaded by his own political party, thus pushing people to choose Trump over Clinton. Doing the work of another country. This, of course, is a grandiose lie. Never happened. The Mueller probe did not indict Trump. None of the Steele dossier was actually false, fabricated, absurd fantasy masquerading as raw intelligence. That's one way they described it. But this was news. They used a Steele dossier that was completely false, full of not just information that misinformed, false, categorically 100% false information and defamatory statements. BuzzFeed got out of the defamation lawsuit by saying, well, the government utilized it. And so that's the difference between the Fox News defamation case and the BuzzFeed defamation case. When BuzzFeed published the Steele dossier, they literally stated in the headline, it's unverified. It's unverified, we're going to publish it anyway. And then the CEO, one of the top people there said, well, we're going to let people decide. They would never, they didn't do that. The New York Post was actually suspended by Twitter. The truth about the Democratic Party or the truth about specific Democrats, whether it's the DNC emails or the New York Post reporting about specific emails that Hunter received and wrote that point to felonies. This is no, we can't hear that. But actual fabricated nonsense was published by BuzzFeed, utilized by government agencies. The Federal Bureau of Investigation offered hundreds of thousands, I think about $1 million to $2 million to verify the dossier. It was completely fabricated because it was purchased by Clinton and the DNC, and they paid FEC violations. But the lies against Trump from that dossier could not have been, there was no litigation or there were no lawsuits where Trump could go after specific entities for pumping out defamatory false statements about him because the government was involved and there wasn't a specific corporation that they were up against. So Fox News doesn't have that luxury, neither does Trump. When they lie and hit subscribe to this channel, by the way, I will have a live stream at 5:30 p.m. Pacific today. So be here at 5:30 p.m. Pacific for the live stream. The link will be below. And hit subscribe. This is a very interesting topic we'll talk about during the live stream. And so 5:30 p.m. Pacific today. If you want to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications, go to hagoodman.com, become part of a newsletter there. And ladies and gentlemen, your super thanks. The super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons if you enjoy this segment. Greatly appreciated. My Patreon is below, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important and so appreciated to my new Patreons. Thank you. Go to H.A. Goodman's other channel also. I'll have segments throughout the day there. But I'm trying to explain to everybody why this is so. There's a $1.6 billion lawsuit that Fox News has. Fox News, during the lawsuit, Paul Ryan is part of the board of directors. I don't know why he is. He shouldn't be. He has pretty much no influence within the Republican Party other than to just annoy Trump and to try to, get the Republican Party back to continually losing like Mittens Romney and Paul Ryan did in 2012. Okay, and they got favorable news coverage compared to today. I mean, news there were reports on Paul Ryan's workout plan. Okay, you'll never get to that point again where news is so apolitical. Time Magazine will, objective. Time Magazine will do a wonderful piece on, Trump's vice president's workout routine. That would never happen. It would be like, oh my God, Trump and his vice president, they're trying to prevent the world from working out. It would be spun a million different ways. But anyway, Fox News individuals that they gave a platform to went after specific organizations, corporations. This is the difference. When CNN and MSNBC give people a platform, whether it's intelligence chiefs, or just people who are fanatical, who despise Trump, their reason for living is to just, insult Trump, and they make false statements. It's Times v. Sullivan, and when the New York Times, for example, publishes an op-ed from an anonymous source within Trump's administration that's saying, oh, we're protecting the country from Trump. They're protected because they're not going after specific corporations. They're not making specific claims related to corporations that could then sue. They're making broad, generalized claims based on opinion or intelligence or morally superior liberal sensibilities, and they can get away with it because at the end of the day, it's just opinion. It's not a specific statement about a corporation. And so that's the point. And the reason that President Trump is destroying Fox News is because Fox is caught between a rock and a hard place. It does not support, it will not show, okay, there are, Tucker Carlson, Jesse Waters, he's fantastic, Greg Gutfeld. There are individuals that do focus on the double standard in media. But what Fox News oftentimes tries to do is they try to give an olive branch to the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the New York Times, the Washington Posts of the world. And they try to say, well, we don't like Trump that much. We're going to try to also focus on other Republicans. But that's not what CNN and MSNBC do. They're 100% all the way for Hillary or for Joe Biden, and they're an extension of the Democratic Party. The Republican Party now is Donald Trump. But the never-Trumpers still, like Paul Ryan, are on the board of directors of Fox. So they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Fox is going to be destroyed as a company or a network if it does not back Trump. But then, if it does back Trump, and there are specific claims made, for example, about specific corporations, then you have this $1.6 billion problem. They could have easily simply said, this is not the viewpoint of the network, and protected the network that way. But like I said, CNN, MSNBC, they get away with a whole lot because they get, and BuzzFeed and all, they get to say, well, it was the government. The government's lying. When the government lies, along with media about Trump, they can say anything they want about Trump. Because then in the defamation lawsuit, the defamatory statement is then just explained and defended as, well, the government it was an investigation. It was a formal government investigation. Sure, based on lies. Based on not evidence, intelligence that you can't prove in a court of law. But Trump then tries to sue. The lawsuit's thrown out because the judge says, wait a second, it's everywhere. I'm not gonna side with Trump because, well, it was an investigation and the suspicion was warranted. Suspicion is never warranted with Trump. They just despise him and they want to investigate him. And they don't have any evidence. There was zero, not a shred of evidence that Trump worked with another country. It was all innuendo, conjecture, and intelligence, and the belief from really smart people that he could have done so. There was no, where were the emails? Where was the money flow? Where were the pictures? Where was the video of him, working with certain operatives? It didn't happen. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. It's very interesting. I'll be doing more on this, and it's really funny how Fox News, because it just doesn't actually support Trump wholeheartedly, is caught within this problem. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. And all they had to do was say, we're going to have these people on. This is not the network. This is not the view of the network. And because they don't support Trump wholeheartedly, they don't realize, because if they did, they would understand that any time they back Trump, they will be then sued, or the media, Democrats, media, the corporate world will go after them full force. Had they simply supported Trump from the very beginning, they would then say, okay, look, you know what? These are about specific organizations. This is not the viewpoint of Fox News, but we're going to allow these people to speak, and then they can get sued individually, which they did. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.